It's Mayor Patricia de Lille. She's been answering some of your questions, and I've obviously got a lot more for you. The earlier caller spoke about reconciliation and Memani, and I just want to ask you if we're talking about that. I know that's something that's very important to you. I mean, what sort of role have you had within the DA when it comes to allegations of racism? You know, it was suggested that that is why Lindiwe Mazibuko left, other than the bullying that she experienced, and that the DA is accused of not letting black leaders lead. Do you agree with that?
Well, first of all, we must all put our efforts and energy towards fighting for a non-racial, non-sexist society. I will be the first to admit that racism is still alive and well in South Africa. And it is also a generational thing, so I put my hope in the next generation that will help us to move forward on the question of race. My belief is that we should never allow racists to speak for us, because racists in this country, they form a narrative. And it's the duty in all of us to fight racism wherever it rears its ugly head. And within the Democratic Alliance, a non-racial party, what we need to do is we need to learn to respect the backgrounds and the history from where all of us come from and put our energies into the future. The previous leader, Lindiwe Mazibuko, said once that we must honor our past, we must remember our past, what we have got an opportunity to design our own future. And that is what I believe in.
Okay, let's talk about a future. First, I want to know why you left the PAC to go to the DA. They stand for totally different things. And what, if you are unsuccessful tomorrow, is your game plan? You shared a platform with the EFF. I know that the ANC is attracted to you. Where might you go?
I can tell you, if I lose the vote tomorrow, I will certainly be not on the streets. I will redesign my future. I will reinvent myself and continue to serve my country in any position. I left the PAC after we had adopted our new constitution in 1996, with many rights in the Bill of Rights. Jane, I wanted to become the first woman in our country to start a political party and to contest elections and to win seats at all three spheres of government. And for 7 years, I worked very hard to achieve that. Once I've achieved that, I then joined forces with Helen Zille on our project to build an alternative to the ruling party. And I'm still committed to that. There is a lot of work for all of us to do in this country. And what all of us as leaders must remember, we mustn't play with the patience of our people. Our people don't like us to fight amongst ourselves. Our people are expecting us to behave like adults and to make sure that we deliver services.
Excuse me jumping in there.
So I'm not worried about tomorrow morning.
Sorry, Ms. de Lille. We have Mr. Martins on the Vaal, from the Vaal, and he's got a question for you. Go ahead, Mr. Martins.
Actually, Jane, you've asked my question, and just to follow up on that, is because she was a PAC member, I just can't wrap my head around it. And then being associated with the EFF really makes things even more confusing. So you don't know where this woman is actually standing, which I think is really a poor show. And then if you look at the Cape itself, Cape Town,
we don't know where Mr. Martin lives in the country, because our whole country has just emerged 23 years ago out of a very sad past. That is why we must build on reconciliation. That is why we must all put an effort in there and not keep on hampering on the past. We must look at what was good in the past and build on there. Cape Town is no different. Cape Town is the second fastest growing
excuse me jumping in here. I mean, there have been several failures under you. I mean, the biggest one has been the water issue.
No. I want to answer that, James. Go and look at the records and the presidency of this country. You will see that Cape Town has been the best run metropolitan in the country for the past 5 years. We even got a warning from National Treasury that the grants that we are giving to indigenous people is not sustainable. And I would like to share with Mr. Martins, if he can give me a call or get his number, I can phone him and tell you what we've done. But I will also be the first to admit we all have got a lot more to do. We're still far away from getting more people to taste the fruits of our new democracy. And each and every one of us has got a responsibility to do that.
But, I mean, if you've built your reputation on corruption busting, then leadership across the board must show that they are clean, that they are standing up for the people, shouldn't they?
Yes, yes.
All right, we've got Lusapo from Khayelitsha on the line. And
Jane?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Lusapo. Go ahead.
Hi, my question to Ms. Patricia de Lille. I just want to ask if does she believe that the water or the zero water that we had in the Western Cape, was that politically driven, or it was indeed a true reflection of what we've experienced after so many years in the Western Cape, where Western Cape people really suffered, you know, traumatically with all these water crises? Was this politically driven, or was indeed a true reflection of what we experienced? Please.
Mayor, go ahead.
In terms of the drought, it's the worst drought that we experienced in 100 years because of climate change. And even today, we are still not out of the woods. It will take us at least 3 years with the good rains that we received this year and hopefully the next 2 years to get out of it. It was a real drought. Our dams were running out of water. We have to change our relationship with water. We had to make sure that we don't solely rely on rainwater. And Cape Town will emerge out of this drought as the most water resilient city in the country, because thanks to Team Cape Town and to the people of Cape Town that rose to the call, and for us to all reduce the demand on water, we have been able to survive, and we are now moving forward.
Okay, let me ask you why there was no plan B when it came to the water issue. Cape Town had been warned, I believe it was 16 or 17 years ago, that there was an issue.
Exactly, the city was alerted 15 years ago, and immediately the city put in a water reduction strategy. And we've actually won an international prize for that. If we had not conserved water over the past 15 years, we would have been in a worse situation. So yes, because there was no precedent to look back, because this is the worst drought in 100 years, we had to do scenario planning. We had to make sure that we come up with the new normal, and the new normal is that we are, because of climate change, we have been identified as a water scarce area. But I just want to respond to the previous caller of corruption. My name has become synonymous in this country with fighting corruption. And that is why I'm fighting back for people who accuse me of any corruption to come with that evidence. I've never taken any cent from any taxpayer in this country. And if there's any person out there with any evidence, they must come forward. But to say I'm corrupt, I've never been corrupt in my life.
Okay, let's see what, or hear what Mighty has to say from Cape Town.
Hello.
Mighty, go ahead.
Yes, my question goes to Mrs. De Lille. I'm going to take her back when she was a member of the Pan-Africanist Congress. Now she joined the Democratic Alliance. I just want to know, because I know the PAC and I know her when she was at the PAC, what happened to her? I mean, how easy was the decision that she took to join the DA being a PAC? That is what I want to know.
Okay, Ms. De Lille?
Well, I didn't join the DA from the PAC. I started the Independent Democrats using my constitutional right of belonging to any political party of your choice. And I've achieved that. I've become the first woman ever in South Africa to start a political party and win seats at all three spheres of government. But where we are in the evolvement of our democracy today is that we all must make sure that we take this country forward, not based on ideology only, but on the basis of what is enshrined in the Constitution, so that we make sure that that Constitution delivered the rights to the majority of the poor and most vulnerable people in our country.
And how can people believe you at this stage when you have all these allegations and the distrust around you? I mean, what needs to happen next, and what needs to happen soon? I know you say you've got to clear your name, but really, I mean, what are the chances?
Let me tell you, there are millions of people in South Africa, and I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of them, to the religious community for all their prayers, because people understand that if you accuse anybody of anything, you must bring the evidence. I had to go to court to force people to bring the evidence. And South Africans are not stupid. We mustn't insult the intelligence of South Africans to just believe that when somebody stands up one morning and say Patricia de Lille is corrupt, that she is corrupt. People understand that whoever accused me of corruption must come with the evidence. And I will fight till the bitter end until I can clear my name.
Do you think you owe the public an explanation, though? I mean, when you sent out that SMS to sway the vote, little incidents like that, do you think that's where the rot started?
Well, of course I owe the public an explanation, but I have asked for a disciplinary hearing where this SMS, first of all, the person that sent me the SMS, a screenshot of the SMS, must come to the disciplinary hearing with the evidence, Jane, and then that evidence can be tested within the disciplinary hearing. We have been asking for that SMS for more than 6 months until I had to go to court to compel the party to give that evidence. I hope with my new disciplinary hearing coming up that the SMS will come to the disciplinary hearing and it will be tested there.
Okay, let's leave the vote of no confidence behind us now and the court and look forward to your political aspirations. I mean, what are they? I know that you've already told us what you'd like to achieve, but would in the future sitting alongside the EFF, I mean, is that something that attracts you, and what's in it that appeals to you?
Well, I know people are entitled to to speculate.
I mean, you did share a platform with them, so I'm just asking, what's the appeal?
No, let me just tell you what. One night, I met President Cyril Ramaphosa at the Jazz Festival. He gave me a hug. The next day, it was all over in the papers that I'm going to the ANC. Then the next thing, I get asked by the late Winnie Mandela's family to speak at an EFF-arranged event in Brandfort, which I agreed to because I knew Mama Winnie. And then when I appeared with the EFF, then they now speculate again, oh, she's going to the EFF. I can assure people that once I've cleared my name, I will take South Africans in my confidence, like I've always done in the past, and to tell them what I will do with my future.
And could you do it outside of the country? Because there also been reports that possibly
I'm ready to serve my country.
Excuse me, jumping in here.
Any capacity.
Okay, and might that be from outside of the country? Because I also hear that possibly you might be heading to DC. Is that a possibility?
Out of the country.
And what would you do from there?
No, I will not. No. I'm not diplomatic material. I can't smile the whole day. I'm a fighter. And therefore, I would like to, and I will remain in my country to continue to fight for equality.
And where do you see the country going now? I mean, you spoke about racism, and we're seeing horrible racist issues happening all over the place. We're going to be dealing with one of the stories now. What's the problem there, and what do you think can be done about it? And if you have parties, this squabbling within the DA, within the ANC, how is that going to get rid of this issue, deal with this issue?
I still have got a lot of hope for my country. I love this country. I'm a patriot. But I think as leaders, we must all sit up and say and accept that the patience of our people is running out. And therefore we need to, all of us need to work a lot harder. And this beautiful country of ours, we've been through worse before, and we've come out survivors. I believe that we will come out and survive even the current crisis that we are in, but in condition that we all work, and we all work damn hard to save our country.
Well, Patricia de Lille, you worked damn hard on this program. Thank you very much for answering all of those questions. It was very good to have you with us. Now, is the most racially segregated town in South Africa. Hermanus may be one of the jewels on the garden route, but violence and protests there are exposing tensions. A community leader explains his plight. The mayor responds next.